Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Monica. I like to post anti-MLM life and some true crime content here on this channel. So if any of that interests you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 14 different lies that MLM reps tell the public or whoever they're trying to recruit and all of that kind of stuff. So of course, just as a disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only and just my opinions. Also, I have been kind of taking a little bit of a break from creating videos. I've been feeling a little overwhelmed lately and I have a lot of things going on in my life. So it's just one of those things where I needed to take a little bit of a break from posting videos, which is why I haven't really been posting all that much. So I do apologize, but I did just want to quickly go over, if you guys haven't heard yet, Beauty Counter is now going to be sold at Sephora. It's been all over any anti-MLM Instagram account and everything of that nature. So I did just want to mention that yes, I did see that. I'm disappointed. However, let me just say, I'm not a fan of Sephora. Not trying to throw any shade or anything like that, but I'm personally not a fan of Sephora. The reason why is because, and I think I've mentioned this on my channel before, but the reason why is because anytime that I walk in there without makeup on, I get treated a certain kind of way, and I don't like that. I feel as though the attitude is very condescending, at least at the Sephoras that I have been to, which is why I always prefer Ulta. And I also, nowadays, I do most of my stuff online. And of course, I'm not good at makeup, so I understand people trying to help, but these people were not trying to help. They were very condescending. So I'm not a fan of Sephora. Haven't really been a fan of Sephora, so for me it's really not that hard to just say, well, I'm never going to shop at Sephora again, because they decided to choose a predatory business model to be sold, the products from that predatory business model to be sold at their store. This particular topic, I have talked about a lot of these lies. Actually, I have full-blown videos dedicated to these topics, so I will link them below or in the cards, wherever I decide to link them. But this is nothing new. I've talked about this numerous times. A lot of other anti-MLM channels have talked about this. Let's get into these 14 lies. The first one, the MLM company made them a better person. Let me just say real quick, being in an MLM, two actually, but the one was way more, I guess you could say, intense than the other one. So when I was with Beachbody, of course, in order to sell the product or recruit people, you have to sell your story. You have to use your story and your before and after pictures. And you just have to say how bad your life was before the MLM. If you listen to any of these MLM reps, or if you even watch any of the reaction videos that are out there, whether it be on my channel or on another channel, more times than not, you're going to hear an MLM rep say that my life sucked before the MLM, and that they weren't a good person until the MLM. They weren't a good person until they started doing self-development and all of that kind of stuff. So we hear this all the time, and it's just to the point where I lived it, so I know. And to be completely honest, to be a little fair, I will say that when I did do Beachbody, before I weighed much more, I was unhealthy. My doctor even said, you need to get on a diet and you need to start exercising because your health is deteriorating like a lot. So I stumbled across Beachbody, and I'm not gonna lie, when I was a coach, I was talking about my transformation. I was talking about my before and after. I talked about how unhealthy I was before and how just, I guess you can say, how my life was before. And the thing is that it's not the MLM, it's the fact that when it came to Beachbody, I can't speak on every single MLM, but when it came to Beachbody, I mean, I was unhealthy. I didn't feel good about myself. And then all of a sudden I'm being love bombed by my uplines. I'm being constantly shared on their pages of, hey, look at Monica's transformation, because I'm not gonna lie, I did lose weight when I was doing Beachbody. So a lot of them used my transformation pictures because it was a very big transformation. And so that's something that kind of just comes with the territory, where they try to say that their life before was just worse than it it is now, and that the MLM changed their lives and their families' lives. So let's move on to number 2. They're always positive. They always look like they're living the life. They always look like their life is just perfect. And here's the thing, and this doesn't just go for MLM reps, this goes for social media in general. You only see little snippets of people's lives. You don't really know what goes on behind closed doors. Because, and this is an example, Savvy Writes Books did a whole entire video on Rachel Hollis and Dave Hollis divorcing, and she broke it down. If you guys have not watched that video, please watch it. It is absolutely amazing. I'll always love Savvy's videos. Maybe I'm biased, but she's my long lost sister. But anyway, so she talked about curated imperfection in her video, which is a thing. And because a lot of influencers, a lot of people that are in the public eye, I guess you can say, they want to seem relatable, because that's a trendy thing now, to be relatable. They want to see the ins and outs of your life. They want to see the hard parts of your life, but you're only seeing little snippets. You don't actually know what's going on. And toxic positivity is a thing. We talk about it a lot in the anti-MLM community. So they're not always positive. And let me just say, when I was in Beachbody, I was always told, you have to be positive, you have to be this, your life has to be great, blah, 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 blah. And anytime that someone had any kind of negative thought or negative vibe, then people would say something and they'd be like, no, you can't be negative. You can't do any of that here. You have to be positive at all times. And that's not healthy. Being positive at all times is not healthy, because we're human. We're allowed to have bad days. We're allowed to have negative vibes. We're allowed to go through and come out of it and overcome. And we're allowed to ugly cry. If that's what you need to do to feel better, you're allowed to do that. So when I was in Beachbody, and when they would always say, you have to be positive, you can't be negative, I did talk about the negative parts of my life. And I did talk about the struggle of having to go from my before to my after. Granted, yes, that is part of number 1 that I just talked about. However, I didn't sugarcoat it. I didn't say my life is so great. I didn't sugarcoat and say that everything in my life was perfect, because it's not. Nobody's life is perfect. Let's move on to number 3, the whole sisterhood narrative. I'm going to give you guys an example of how this sisterhood is non-existent. Number 1, I made a whole entire video about it, but I have heard so many stories from people that when they leave the MLM, their sisterhood just, it goes away. It disappears. And that happened to me. I'm not friends with anyone who was in my team, who was in my upline. I'm not friends with any of them. We're civil, yes, but we're not friends. We're not friends like we were before. They're not uplifting me. They're not empowering me. And you're only part of the sisterhood if you're making your upline money. And here's the perfect example. When I was in Beachbody, I feel like I've said that multiple times already in this video, but when I was part of Beachbody, I didn't hear back from any of my team, my upline, and I was asking a question, hey, is this considered, because if you don't know, in Beachbody they have the color-coded container system, and each one of those colors is for a different type of food group. So veggies is green, purple is fruit, blue is healthy fat, red is protein, yada, yada, yada. And there was someone who was asking me, hey, is this particular type of rice okay for the yellow container, which is carbs? Because you were supposed to have whole wheat and all of that kind of stuff. So someone had asked me if this falls under the same category, and I was honestly, I wasn't sure. It was nowhere on the Beachbody website. So I decided that I'm going to ask some of my uplines. No one got back to me, and the person was waiting because they were in the process of meal prepping. So I reached out to a Beachbody coach who was pretty high ranking in the company. We're no longer friends, obviously. I had asked her. She was not on my team. We were in completely different teams. So we had nothing to do with each other. I was not making her any money. Let's put it that way. And I had asked her, hey, my uplines haven't gotten back to me. Can you possibly help me? Because I know that you're a Beachbody coach too. Because she found me on Instagram probably about a year before I even became a Beachbody coach. And this girl responds back and says, well, you're not on my team, so you're just going to have to either figure it out on your own or ask your uplines. But I thought this was a sisterhood. So it's not a sisterhood if you're not making your upline money. Let's move on to number 4. Your 9 to 5 is a pyramid scheme. Every company is a pyramid scheme. I've already dissected this topic in an entire video, which I will leave linked below, talking about the whole narrative of every company is a pyramid scheme, or you'll hear pyramid schemes are illegal, which I'll leave a link to that video below as well. We hear this all the time. It might be shaped the same in a triangle structure because they like to say this all the time, that you have the CEO, you have the VPs, the managers, the supervisors, and then everyone else at the bottom. Here's the difference though, is that those people actually make money. They have a salary. Even those people at the bottom, they have either an hourly wage or a salary. Whereas in an MLM, you're not guaranteed any kind of pay. And might I also add that in a 9 to 5, more times than not, you do get benefits. You do get paid time off where you don't have to work on vacation, because you do have to work while you're on vacation as an MLM rep. So I'll leave those videos linked below because that is a whole nother topic in itself. Let's move on to number 5. My MLM is different. Did a video on this and I will leave a link below, but they like to say that their MLM is different. Do I think that they're all the same? Obviously not. I don't think that they're all the same because they sell a different product. They have a different compensation plan. And some are more predatory than others. However, it's still the same business structure. It's still the same, where you have the 1%ers at the top actually making money and everyone else is in the red. Everyone else is either making barely a livable wage, or they're not making anything, or they lost money. So you might think that it's different because of the fact of, oh, well, we sell a different product, or we have a different compensation plan. It's the best in the business. Well, yes, that might be true that you have different compensation plans and that you have different products to sell. The predatory business structure behind the scenes, it's still the same exact thing. It's still the same core structure that every other MLM company has. So while your MLM might be slightly different, it's really not all that different. Number 6, when they say that they're a small business owner, no, you are not a small business owner. As someone who was an ex-MLM rep who worked in corporate America and now owns their own business, we are not the same. Small business owners, we're not the same. The only time that MLM reps are the same is where it hurts. So when it comes to taxes, when it comes to all of that, that's the only time that you're considered your own business. But other than that, let me ask you, to the MLM reps who are constantly saying, oh, well, I'm my own business owner. Let me ask you this. Do you have control over your product? Do you have control over your pricing? Do you have control over the research and development team? If you want to put out a new product, for example, do you have control over that? Because I do. Here at our store, our business, our brand, we have control over that. If we don't want to carry your product anymore, we don't have to. If we want to introduce one, we can. So we're not the same. And let's just, this brings me to number 7. This kind of ties into this as well. When they say that it's a franchise, you are not the same as a franchise. While there may be some similarities between a franchise and what you're doing as an MLM rep, as a distributor, there are some similarities. However, let me just say this. When I use this reference all the time, McDonald's. Let's say that you want to open up a McDonald's. McDonald's is going to do their research and they're going to do a market analysis and see if there's some kind of market saturation, which I will talk about in number 8, spoiler. But when they talk about this research and this market analysis. McDonald's is going to make sure that we don't open up one McDonald's here and one right across the street because they want to be profitable. Whereas with an MLM company, they don't care because they don't believe in market saturation. Which brings me to number 8. Market saturation isn't a thing with MLM companies. Why do you think that is? Probably because the MLM reps and the distributors are their best customers. So, whereas a franchise, they do the analysis and they won't open up one right across the street. Whereas with an MLM, they don't care if your neighbor's also selling Arbonne. They don't care that your neighbor's neighbor is also selling Arbonne, or that your sister and your brother and your parents and your cousins and all of those, they don't care that all of these people are selling Arbonne. That's why market saturation doesn't exist in the eyes of the CEOs and the founders of these MLM companies. Let's move on to number 9. The uplines have already done their research for you. And they always tell the anti-MLM community to do your research. Well, we do our own research. We have facts that back up our claims. We have the FTC, which is a government entity that backs up what we say. Do you have that kind of factual information? Or are you just telling us that we're haters because that's your opinion and you don't have anything that will back up your claim that the MLM company, you've already done all the research for your team? I've done reaction videos. I just did one the other week and it was 2 Monet reps that I was reacting to. And the one girl said, if you're going to go do your research, to reach out to her because she'll give you the information. But wouldn't you kind of be biased? And before any MLM reps try to tell me that I'm biased, well, yes, I might be a little biased because I don't like MLM companies. I have facts to back up why I say what I say, why I have the opinion that I have. So, doing your own research, and I encourage people to do their own research even when it comes to the anti-MLM community. If you're on the fence of, well, do I really not like MLMs or do I like them? What do I think? Do your research. You can come to me if you'd like, and I can give you whatever information I have. You can go to an MLM rep and ask them what information they have, but are they giving you a legitimate source? Or are they just dishing out information because they want to recruit you into your team? Ask yourself that question. But please, whether you're on pro MLM or anti MLM, do your own research, find your own sources, because there might be something you find that some of us have not found yet. Number 10, our products are better and that's why they're not sold in stores. No. That is not true. Your products aren't sold in stores because it's cheaper for the MLM company, the CEOs at the top who are making all that cash off of you. It's cheaper for them to hire you as their advertising and not have to hold their inventory at a store. It's easier and it's cheaper for them to just have the reps do all the work for them. They do everything for them. They don't have to pay for advertising. They don't have to pay for having to carry their product somewhere to get it shipped there or anything of that nature. They don't have to do that because their reps do their work for them. So that is why your MLM products are not sold in regular stores. Hate to break it to you, but it's not because it's a good product. Are some products better than others in the MLM industry? Yeah, I'm sure that there are better products than others. But that's not the reason why they're not sold in stores. It's not because your product is superior to something else. Number 11, anyone who is a hater or is against you failed at the business, or they're just against you for no reason, which this is not true. We have people in the anti-MLM community who were the top earners, who were in that 1%, who were in the elite of the MLM companies and the MLM reps and the triangle-like structure. We have people in the anti-MLM community like that, first of all. Second of all, the business model is not set up for you to succeed. Please tell me what kind of tools to success these MLM reps and these MLM companies give their downline and their team. Because last time I checked, it doesn't matter if the people that are in the red, if they are losing money, because they're still purchasing from the company. They're still making their uplines money. So the business model is set up for them to not be able to succeed. That's just, sorry, that's just what it is. But if you want to call me a hater, by all means, you can go ahead and call me a hater. I, at the end of the day, can go to sleep at night knowing that I didn't make money off the backs of other people. So you can sit there and call me a hater all you want. I'm not a hater though. I'm here to educate. I'm here to provide information, legitimate sources on why MLM companies are terrible and why they're predatory and why, in my opinion, I don't think anybody should join them. That last part, my opinion, obviously, because you can join whatever you want, but the fact that the MLM industry is always talking about how they want to empower and uplift women. Are you for real? Are you for real? Do you really think that that everyone is going to believe that and that no one's going to question that? I mean, granted, I was indoctrinated into the MLM industry, so I know that there is a point in time where you do believe those lies because they make it look so beautiful. They do. They make the lifestyle look so amazing. I think it's complete and utter bullshit that some of these MLM reps are out there saying, oh, well, if anyone's against you, they're just a hater or they failed at this business. You know how many times I get comments on some of my deep dives where I talk about different companies that I mean, I've been looking into companies and doing deep dives since October of 2019. So I've been getting these comments since then. And you know how many times people tell me, oh, well, you just failed at the business and that's why you hate this company so much. Half the time though, when they comment that, the only company that you can really say that about in the deep dives I've done is Beachbody, because all of the other ones, I was never part of those MLMs. Anyway, I could keep rambling on and on about that, so let's just move on to number 12. Number 12 is the whole time and financial freedom. How many times have we heard them talk about you can have time freedom? You can have time with your kids, you can have time with your family. You only need to work like an hour a day. It's really not that hard. You just work from your phone. And how many times have we heard about financial freedom? Way too many times. And here's the thing. If you're an MLM rep watching this, if you make income claims or lifestyle claims, like how you live in the lap of luxury kind of a deal, you can get in a lot of trouble with the FTC. So make sure that you're not doing that, and make sure that you're not making income claims, because here's the thing. Not everyone is going to make that money. Unless you're in that tippy top of the pyramid, you're not going to make the money that some of these people make. And the thing too is a lot of these people, they lie about it. So next time that your upline tells you, oh, I make 6 figures, unless they're at the top of that structure, most likely they're lying to you. Most likely they're not making that kind of money. Let's move on to number 13, the free cars. We have debunked this so many times already, and I don't know how many times I'm gonna have to debunk this, but the cars are not free. One of you had even told me on one of my Monet videos, I forget which one it was, but that the CEO from Monet told their people not to talk about the free car because it's not actually free. That came straight from the CEO, because it's not free. In order to get that free car, you have to make rank. And if you drop in rank, then you're on your own. You have to pay for that car payment. That car is in your name. You have to use your own credit in order to get that car. It's not like a 9 to 5 where you get a company car. Not every 9 to 5. So don't come for me. Not every 9 to 5 is going to give you a company car, but the ones that would give you a company car, if you're higher up and all that kind of stuff, you get that car. You don't have to put that car in your name. You don't have to make those monthly payments on that car. It's a perk for being a higher up. Whereas in an MLM company, you have to hit that rank. And if you don't hit that rank, I'm not sure if there's a grace period, but you have to make that payment. And let me just tell you, girl, those payments on those luxury cars are not cheap. They are not cheap. Let me just put that out there. And last, but definitely not least, number 14. It's easy versus it's hard. They always change this narrative in order to fit whatever they're trying to say. So when they're trying to recruit you, they tell you, oh, it's easy. All you have to do is you just work from your phone. All you have to do is just post pictures on social media. That's all you have to do. Nothing else. That's it. And then when someone fails the business, they say, well, you didn't work hard enough. You thought you were just going to come in here and work a couple hours a day? No, you have to eat, breathe, sleep this company. You have to make sure that you're constantly working your business. Doesn't matter where you are. How many times have we seen in these reaction videos MLM reps talk about how they have no choice but to work? They have to check in with their uplines and tell them how much they work that day. And if you're not posting on social media, this happened to me. If you're not posting on social media 5 times a freaking day, it might not be 5 times for everybody, but for me it was 5 times. If you're not posting 5 times a day, guess what? Your upline's gonna be like, hey girl, why don't you post 5 times a day? But I see you scrolling because I see you liking people's content, or I see you commenting on other people's stuff. What if I just want to scroll through Facebook? What if I want to scroll aimlessly because I don't feel like working? Because I already worked and I need 10, 15 minutes to myself. I need a breather because sometimes you need that because burnout is a real thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm part of hustle culture because I come from the Northeast. I know hustle culture. That is embedded into me. But even me, I need at least 10 minutes to myself. So I got in trouble because I skipped a day. I skipped a day and I didn't post 5 times a day. I only posted like 3. And someone sent me a message and told me I wasn't working hard enough. When I just worked a full-time job, I had a second side hustle anyway, as it was at the time. So I had 2 side hustles because one was Beachbody, the other one was my blog. I already had something else on the side. And I just wanted to spend time with my fiance and my dogs. And if I want to scroll through Facebook and like a couple of posts or comment on someone's post, I think I'm allowed to do that. And you don't have to monitor my every move because, wait a minute, I thought this was my own business. So I'm not allowed to take a break. So I do actually have a boss. I do actually have a higher up. So it's not my own business. That was my 14 lies that MLM reps will tell you in order to recruit you into this business. Because let's be real here, they're not pitching the products. We know that they're going to make money from recruiting. They're going to make little to no money from just selling the product. So of course, they're always going to pitch recruitment. They're always going to pitch time freedom, financial freedom. Don't you want to stay home with your kids? Don't you want to quit your job? Don't you want to pay off your debt? Oh, and here's a little bonus thing as well. I mean, it's not really a lie, it's the truth. They'll tell you to put it on a credit card. Don't ever put it on a credit card. Please do not do it. Learn from my mistakes. If you do not have the money to purchase a starter kit, don't do it. Because what happens, yeah, that's a risk that you can take if you want, but from all of the people that I have talked to, the people that put it on a credit card just dug themselves a bigger hole with debt. That's what happened to me. So I guess that concludes this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. You guys always have the best comments. I'm so sorry that I have been really bad with keeping up with comments, but like I said, I've just been really overwhelmed. A lot of stuff is going on, so hopefully I can get back to my regular posting schedule. Let me know if you have any other lies to add to the list, because I'm sure you guys have even more. I'm sure I missed a ton of them, but I didn't want to make this video an hour long, so I tried to keep it as short as possible. But anyway, if you have watched up to here, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, check me out on all my social media. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you to my channel members. I love all of you, and I love all of my subscribers, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Monica reporting to you live from a highway. Bye.